That's where the maximalism comes out. Like, you want to feel out of body.
Being afraid to sound bad keeps you from sounding your best. This is a band that's not afraid to take risks.
Partygirl are a 6-piece, maximalist, feminist, totally fabulous band in New York City. Fittingly for a band called Partygirl, I first met singer Pagona Kytzidis in the line for the bathroom at a party, and after hearing the band's passionate violin and saxophone accented tunes, I knew I needed to talk to them.
I take like years to write songs. I'll like put them in a notebook and I'll sit on them because, I don't know, something just doesn't feel right, or it does, and you don't know until you know. But with this group of people, writing songs is so fluid, and it's never been as easy as it has been. And we were working on this song. And Fran and I started, I don't know, we got there early and we were just like working through some chords, and it was like kind of messy. And then everyone came and we had this rehearsal, and like we had a collective like brain aneurysm, but like in a good way. And like 2 hours later we had this like epic 5-section song. And I felt like that was the first time I was like, oh shit, we like click, like really. Like David's running up to the board doing chord substitutions. Fran's writing insane riffs.
We're very lucky in a city where it's really hard to pin down people. We're getting 7 people together twice a week, pretty much every week. It's such a luxury to be able to do that and to have a collaborative composition process on top of it where we're all putting a trust in each other to create original music.
It feels cohesive. It feels like we're one collective mind. It feels good.
The one song I think worked really hard on was the song in 7, where Claire and David and Fran play this part in 5 over 7, but it's like rooted in the violin part, right? It's rooted in this violin part that it's amazing. We're working on the end, and like, how are we going to wrap up the song? It's just like this giant jam. Fran is fucking soloing for 2 minutes. Jonathan's soloing for like 7,000 minutes. And I mean that out of love. And I'm like, okay, we're just all going to drop out like one by one until it's just Claire. And Claire's just going to do this like heartbeat. And it's stunning. And I don't know if you want to add to that feeling, but it's like this feeling where you're just like, I've heard this song a million times. I've played it in rehearsal. We wrote it together. And it's just like, we'll be on stage and it's just be Claire. And I'm just like melting into the ground.
I just remember the first time we did that, and we were all just like holding in our giggle at the end, being like, oh my God, wait, this is amazing, this is amazing, this is amazing. And then as soon as you like went, da, 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 we all just like burst out laughing. We're like, that's it. Bam. Easy.
For me, I have a classical background, and I haven't really been pulling from like specific references. In some ways, I feel like that makes it more difficult for me, but then I think I also bring like a slightly different perspective to it. There aren't that many rock bands with violins in them, so I'm not working with much material.
I have more of a jazz background, or jazz influences, free jazz and improvised music, and more of an experimental side of things.
I love rock music. That's the main thing for me. I have a very weird voice. It's strange. I was like told I couldn't be in choirs as a kid, and that filled me with a sense of vengeance that I was just going to create the weirdest sounding voice ever and just run with it. I joke that my voice is like if Robert Plant and Amy Winehouse had a child, that would be me. I would be that kid that might be cocky, but I also think that's probably objectively true. I know. I'm horrible. Songwriting wise, Fiona Apple. It's like if Fiona Apple wrote guitar music.
Well, in high school, I listened to a lot of Fish. I was introduced to them when I was like 15 or 16. At that young, impressionable age, you're like, realize music could really stretch and sound very crazy at a certain time. It could sound great or it could sound really bad. But like, I feel like the good moment. Right. I was listening to a show today. It was September 30th, 2000 at the Mackey Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was when Trey announced the first hiatus, and it was like a big show. It was a great show, but at the very end, like one of the songs that's like a narrative song, Esther, like Trey like forgot the lyrics, and like people would think that's bad. Sometimes the bad moments show like how human people could be when you're like really showing yourself on stage.
We all know what I'm going to say. Paramore is my number one thing. I remember when liking Paramore wasn't cool, and then I was very much redeemed after Laughter and This Is Why. So I was very much in the emo, punk, hardcore stuff. Growing up, I went to 5 Warped Tours, R.I.P.
Fran, as a producer, which these guys have not experienced yet, but I have experienced, extraordinary. If she ever told me no to something I wanted to do, it was like with a very good reason. But most of the time I was like, all right, you want to do 6-part harmony? Let's do it. It was not ever a question of like capacity or vision. It was a question of like, all right, how do we do this? And how do we make it work? That's from a production perspective, like a different side of like the music. But I think we approach songwriting in that way. It's not ever no, it's let's try it. Like you said, we're not afraid to like try.